This is 100 seasons of BYU football, a BYUtv special. Great to have you with us live from the New Skin Building in Provo, Utah. We move on with more national championship talk as we look back on a team that roughly 4 decades ago did something that was unthinkable and certainly unprecedented in major college football, as the BYU Cougars were the lone unbeaten team. They hoisted the trophy. And we spent a lot of time talking about the great offense led by Robbie Bosco, Glen Kozlowski, Lake Muli. But we've got a couple of defensive guys up here to join Glen Kozlowski. They are Kurt Gouveia and Leon White. Welcome, gentlemen, to 100 seasons of BYU football. Let's give some love to the BYU defense in '84.
Thank you. Hey, I was defensive, too. I mean, I offended in defense at everyone. I'm not sure it's a word, but I'll throw it out there. It sounded good.
In a unique way, Glenn, you played both sides of the football, that's for sure.
I'm not sure what that means, but it sounds good. I'm kind of feeling like Madonna right now with this little mic.
When they came on, they tried to get after us.
Yeah, you bet.
Here's what I'll say. In spring ball, and Robbie would attest to this, we had our first big scrimmage, and we couldn't get a first down. And I mean, I remember I was looking at Robbie, I said, are we this bad or are they that good? Turned out they were that good.
Yes, they were.
I mean, honestly, the year before, we had Steve Young, we had a really good defense, but these guys took it to a new level. And it was incredible. And then I look back and I'm like, well, of course we took it to a new level. These guys still look like they could play, right?
Absolutely. As I sit next to Kurt, and you've got some hardware as well, Kurt. You brought back Super Bowl ring.
Very proud of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very proud.
You should wear that. That gets some applause in the crowd for sure. Several Super Bowl champions in this crowd here. Hey, Kurt, I want to begin. When you were going into the 1984 season, and there were several members of the team that felt like, okay, this could be something special. You were involved in that group, like, okay, maybe we do have something really special here. What was it about that team and that defense specifically that made you feel like, okay, we could win every game?
Yeah, I think it was the previous year, and when I was in the dormitory, and as a freshman, you're not allowed to play varsity at the time, and I was watching Leon and Todd Shell and another linebacker, a Samoan kid. They were playing against Herschel Walker at the time, and they fought their butts off to try to win that game. Evidently, they lost. But I told myself at that time that I'm going to make sure that I be the best that I could be. When they come back next year, when I have the opportunity to play varsity, we're going to be better than what it was previous years.
Leon, what was it that made Kurt special when he hit the field in '84 as he waited for his opportunity?
Kurt's a technician. I mean, he studies the game. He's always been a great athlete. I mean, in Hawaii, he did it all. He was all-state in football, basketball. He probably could have wrestled if he wanted to. But
Spencer, I played quarterback at free safety. And when I came to Brigham Young University, they was going to play me at strong safety. But I told them, I was watching Todd Shell as a freshman. I said, I want to be like that man. And I had to play linebacker, right? And good thing I had a great coach, Coach Smith, Ken Smith. And I'm thinking of Coach Smith, I'm sorry. But he was such an awesome coach that taught me the position to play linebacker. And he was yelling at me. He was so hard on me about doing the right thing all the time. Not just sometimes, all the time. Even when he wasn't looking, I had to do the right thing all the time. Because obviously you watch film, And he would call me in his office and say, no, this is not good enough. This is not good enough. He keeps telling me it's not good enough. So I kept doing it more and more. And, it sort of paid off, And I thank him from the bottom of my heart that he's the man that started my thought process. We're going to be great. Not good, great.
Great stuff from Kurt Gouveia. And Leon White, I look at Hawaii. You mentioned Kurt because he is a Hawaiian, but I think of a harder hit that I have ever seen a BYU football player present on a football field than what you did, correct me if I'm wrong, at the University of Hawaii. Kurt, Leon, you know the hit I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I mean, that was a special moment in a tough game. So what are you thinking when you see one of your teammates go out and do that in a game that mattered so much on your run to a national championship?
It was expected. I mean, Kurt was going home to play. We knew he was going to light somebody up. So every time we went to Hawaii, and all the players that were from the area, they always had their best games. And Kurt, he just brings it every time he's on the field. But that game was especially important to him to win. And we wanted to help him win. We were right there with him. We don't like to see our players lose the big games in their home states. So, yeah, we followed in his footsteps, and there were a lot of other big plays like that, too, that helped us win that game.
Koz, what was the relationship like between the offense and defense as the year progressed and as the wins piled up and the pressure understandably mounted to maintain that level and stay unbeaten?
Well, we didn't like him, first and foremost. But, I will say this before I answer that. I'm humbled and honored to be here with so many great players. And I just want you to know that. I was a hack, but these guys were the real deal. And, it's great to see Austin Collie because Scott, his dad, and I played together. I was a freshman, he was a senior. But to answer the question, I mean, we were close, offense and defense. And honestly, there was never pressure. Did you ever think? I mean, to me, we always knew we were going to win. It just never. We just figured out when we were going to do it, right? Sometimes the defense would forget that we were supposed to win, and then sometimes we would forget that we're supposed to win. But we always, honestly, I never thought we were going to lose a game.
Outstanding.
But it started because of the guys in front of us too. Honestly.
They laid the groundwork for sure.
100%.
LaVell Edwards at the core of that. And so this question is for all three of you. But if you could explain LaVell Edwards to somebody in 30 seconds or less, where would you begin that answer? Glenn, we'll start with you on the end.
Well, he was, he's like my father, honestly. And he taught me how to be a man. He truly did. And he taught me how to cut off the little tag on my suit. And, Patty, I just thought I'd let you know I cut it off tonight for you. So, it was my first suit, and I left the tag on it. Said JCPenney's. And I thought that was like a designer suit, right? I got my polyester JCPenney suit. No, I would have done anything for him, honestly. I love him. Still, I quote him all the time, and my sons are like, would you just be quiet, Dad? We know LaVell said that to you. And I said, okay.
Leon, what would you add to the cutting the tags off of the suit conversation with LaVell Edwards?
Well, to me, he was a caring person, great personality, great sense of humor, and you knew that he loved you when he talked to you. And he was definitely one of the most important people in my life, and that's what I definitely remember about him.
Kurt?
I know he cared about us, and I was really afraid of him. When he walks near me, I would walk the other way, but I know he cared about us, and all he was going, Kurt. And I knew I was in trouble already, I did something wrong on practice or, something in school that I've done. But LaVell was really a coach that gave us the respect as a student athlete and a football player and a person more so. And I really respect that out of him.
We're so glad to have all of you back, and we appreciate your thoughts and insights into that national championship season and some love for that 84 defense, which apparently was really good, Glenn.
No, it was the best, honestly. And I'm not taking away from some of the defense that followed later, but these guys set a new bar. They
Great
truly
stuff.
did.
Wide receiver Glen Kozlowski and linebackers Leon White and Kurt Gouveia on 100 seasons of BYU football. Thank you, gentlemen.